One of the ways that social media has changed selling is it gives you other opportunities on ways to sell. I think it also gives you additional responsibilities in how you sell. To to pick up the phone and call somebody and not at least have looked on LinkedIn to see if they're listed there. And if they are listed there, how long they've been with a company, what school they went to. I mean, they're just basic stuff. It's just you know price of admission now. It's a responsibility.
Selling is completely different because there's so much information out on the web that as much as 70% of buyers have already made up their mind what they're going to buy before they ever engage with a sales rep. So if a sales rep wants to have any chance of being differentiated from their competitors or actually winning a deal, they have to work harder to be smarter and more relevant and really understand the business issues of their prospects so that they can deliver meaningful solutions and have better business conversations.
There is no aspect of our lives where technology hasn't crept in and changed the way we live, and thereby changing the way we work as well. So consumers are increasingly finding a voice and seeing that they can engage brands and have more of a dialogue rather than a one-way communication where they didn't have much choice in the past. So it's a pretty exciting time.
The opportunities for salespeople that take the time to understand the business issues and the relevant events that are affecting their prospects and customers help them differentiate from the other salespeople that aren't willing to take that time. And so when salespeople do that, then they can have much more meaningful business conversations with the right person at the right time.
The good news is that today, most businesses have figured out social media, right? There's a reason to be on board. We've seen the maturity of social media platforms. So Facebook with over 1 billion monthly active users, for example. But now we're in a phase of the market where businesses need to operationalize how they're approaching social media and what they do with customer engagement along the way. So a lot of opportunities still out there. And the big question is, how do I incorporate what I'm doing in those channels with everything else I do behind the scenes as well?
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so it's like, what do you actually know about me? I get all these LinkedIn invitations, I'd like you to join my network. It's like, tell me one thing. 2 would be better, but tell me one thing that you know about me, about why we should be in a network together.
I mean, nobody likes to be sold. I can't stand to be sold, and nobody does. So when we talk about things like social selling, which we actually spend a lot of time at Inside View talking about social selling because it's kind of a buzz term, but at the end of the day, it's not really selling. It's really using social tools and social media to improve customer intimacy so that you can establish that trust and have better customer relationships.
From the business side, if you're a marketer and you're trying to figure out how to really make a social media channel matter, it's about tying it into and integrating with existing campaigns and existing business metrics and operations, right? So not just, am I getting a lot of likes and followers and fans, but what kind of sales am I driving? Am I showing a lift in customer acquisition? Am I getting better customer retention results? So that's the way to make social media relevant, is by tying it into metrics that matter.
So Barry Traylor, Heidi Tucker, and Peter Kim on the impact that social media has had on selling today. Johan Reed, Butch Stearns here in studio at the Pulse Network for the Customer Edge. So the impact of social media on selling, it's really changed the way sales are done fundamentally because it's more of a soft sell now. The pre-sale is more of the sale, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing about, if we think about selling as the always be closing model, that model is increasingly becoming very dated on social. Social is about listening, it's about engagement, and it's not a place you can dive in and start bombing people with a product pitch. You have to take a step back and you have to listen first. And then you have to start engaging by contributing to a community with something meaningful that may answer questions or promote conversation. And that's fundamentally changing the way that sales reps have to approach their job.
So you mentioned in the lead into that feature that marketing is the new sales. You just commented on that, but expand on that a little bit more.
Sure. So marketers have been using social for a while now, even in the B2B space. If they're working on LinkedIn promotions and campaigns, And so what we're seeing is that salespeople are locked out of the buying cycle until customers have gone through a lot of the thinking and decision making. And so marketers have traditionally been focused on, how do I influence that decision? How do I influence this person to consider us, to go and talk to a salesperson? And on social media, that's even more critical, because it's the marketer who has understood how to leverage that channel and position without being so forceful on the sales pitch side of it. And so those marketing skills have to transfer now, because the individual salesperson has to do those same types of activities on social media. And I think we're going to see a trend where salespeople have to act more like marketers, and they have to work together with marketers much more closely than they may have in the past.
A comment from you about Peter Kim's comment, which I thought was interesting. He said, from a business side, if you're a marketer, you need to make a social media channel matter, but the way to do that, it's about tying it in to your business strategy. He never shied away from that. He kept getting back to that point. He kept talking about tying it into your campaigns and tracking results. Your thoughts about that?
Absolutely right. And you know, that it's the same kind of discussion that Brent was having earlier, which is it's weaving social into the fabric of your business. It's not treating it as, you know, we don't treat a phone interaction or an email channel as a separate part of the business. But yet so many companies have a different small group of individuals who are off to the side doing this social thing. It's kind of an experiment. The companies that really take the strategic view and integrate it into both their campaigns and their marketing efforts, as well as their customer service efforts, and try to make social the strategy across the entire life cycle of the customer, they're the ones who are going to win ultimately.
One final comment from you about a comment that Heidi Tucker made, which I thought was interesting. She said directly, nobody likes to be sold to. But when we talk about social selling, at the end of the day, it's not selling at all. It's really using tools and social media to have better, stronger relationships.
Nothing's changed, Butch. It's, you know, the early merchants standing in the town square, right? They had a relationship. If you think about the old model where you had the butcher and the baker and the greengrocer, you could go there, and if you left your wallet at home, they knew who you were. There was a relationship, there was trust, and those things, the relationship, the trust, the intimacy between people, that's the currency on social. And that, I think, is directly to the point that Heidi is making.
Okay, so that is the impact of social media on selling. Now let's switch gears and talk a little bit about SAP as a case study, if you will, on how SAP uses social media to affect customer engagement. Quick comment from you on that. How does social media impact customer engagement when it comes to the way SAP? Give us some of the inside view here, how SAP thinks.
Well, you know, it's interesting. So SAP is one of the world's largest software companies, and you know, a lot of people, even internally, a lot of people have said for a while, sort of, are people really on Facebook looking at stuff about SAP? And the answer is yeah. We have strong Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn channels. We're doing some really interesting things. And you know, Margot is going to get a lot deeper into this, but for us, it's really about engaging at every level. Because as an enterprise software company, we're so often engaged with a purchasing person at another enterprise. We don't often get to interact with the end user. Social is great. Our customers, our end users, can go out and tweet to us, and we'll respond. We'll have a dialogue with them. Maybe they need help. Maybe they have a question about the product. So for us, it's a really great channel to get a lot more intimate with our customer.